Hello, welcome Mansi to this wonderful session that we are. I'm really excited for this session. Um, Tell me about yourself because I know my very less.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show. It really means a lot, and I hope to add value in today's podcast. So, my name is Mansi Thakkar. I'm a leadership coach. I'm on board of multiple companies and universities, and currently, I am doing podcast. I'm hosting podcast. I'm also appearing on podcast. I create content as well. And if I have to tell you my story, I started as an IT engineer. I've done my diploma and degree, and I royally failed for 2 years. Disclaimer: I've finished my engineering, but I was more intrigued towards motivational speaking, public speaking. So I've done all my courses during my diploma days. And 2016-17, I met Radhakrishna Pillai sir, wherein he just told me that leadership is the next future, so you should work on leadership. So then 2019, I enrolled for a master's degree in Chanakya Arthashastra in leadership science. And then onwards, I think my life transitioned because the opportunity that I'm getting right now compared to what I was getting when I was just a speaker, there's a huge difference. And I think there is a need of women leaders. There's a need of women on boards. There's a need of, people who can use the influence in the right manner. So that is a short journey, what I would say. And of course, when we just go ahead, I'll share more of my experiences.
That's so brilliant. Like you've taken your life from here to this next level altogether with with this new learning that you've got. Yeah, and the right guidance and the mentorship. You've been
I
so
think
lucky.
without guidance, without right people, we feel stuck. And be it leadership, be it business, or be it motivational speaking or any field, if you have right people to guide you, I think you can do wonders.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you completely. So, Bansi, as you mentioned, you know, uh, leadership is the next uh, thing
Next game
that,
changer.
yeah, game changer. So, what is leadership actually? Like, how would you define it?
See, I've read a lot of books on leadership, but what I personally believe and what I've read is leaders, create more leaders and not just followers. And I think in my personal experience from last 3 years, it's how you make people feel, it's how you influence people in the right manner. Because if a person feels inspired by your presence, if
Hmm.
a person feels themselves, if they don't have to pretend, and if you can help them become extraordinary version of themselves, I think you're a great leader. And most important, how humble you are, what are the qualities that you imbibe, because leadership is not just a designation. In fact, I'll tell you one very beautiful thing that I learned yesterday,
Mhm.
which by default all the directors have to learn, but sometimes those same learnings will just put a spark in you. So I was in a women directors summit yesterday, and they just said one beautiful thing that being a board of director is not just a recognition, it's a responsibility.
Yeah.
And that was an eye opener for me, because when you are in a leadership role, you're very much impressed by the designation, oh, board of director, oh, managing director, oh, chairman, etc., etc. But people forget that these designations are temporary.
Mhm.
What remains is your behavior. What remains is how you make people feel. What remains is what impact or influence you have created in the tenure of your role, or probably the duration that you were appointed as a director or a leader.
Mhm.
And I have read multiple books, because when I was in the university pursuing my master's degree, we had research projects, we had, assignments wherein we were supposed to read books, supposed to meet people, and then understand leadership at its core. So, in my perspective and in my experience, I personally believe leaders create leaders. If somebody is, becoming a better version of themselves, even if they are not a leader, with those roles, particular, I would say typical roles, still, I think that is called real leadership.
Wow, such an amazing definition that you've given. Because, yes, we often see leaders, they're more attached to the designation that they have, the powers they have, and what they can do, the influence they can create through their designation. It's not about that responsibility that kicks in when they're at that level of
And
leading.
designation might be there today, might not be there tomorrow, right? But people will never forget how you made them feel.
Absolutely true. that memory is always stuck with them forever.
Always, always. And I think that is why, there is this self-leadership, caring leadership and compassionate leadership and what new terms people keep on giving. But it's humanity. If you
Yeah,
lead humanity and your heart, I think, you can do wonders.
absolutely. Yeah, that humbleness is very much required in these days today.
Absolutely.
Absolutely true. So, Mansi, you've gone through this amazing journey from a motivational speaker. You were in IT, and must have faced a lot of challenges, a day-to-day work, and even to get another, a higher position or an increment or anything like that. So, what has been your mantra to deal with these things?
I think everybody has different mantras and different challenges that they undergo. Like initially, when I was failing in my engineering days,
Hmm.
it was very becoming difficult for me to deal with it because I stopped getting programs. People stopped calling me for the sessions because they were looking at me. I mean, it was a perceived failure for them,
Hmm.
and I used to get comments like, पहले खुद आप खुद को मोटिवेट करो, खुद पास हो जाओ, फिर हमको आना सिखाने. अभी कोई जॉब नहीं मिलेगा बिकॉज आपको ड्रॉप लगा है एंड ऑल दोज नॉनसेंस थिंग्स.
Huh.
And somewhere, people try to mentally and emotionally break you down when when you are facing such failures. Sorry, just a minute.
Hmm.
Now I think this disturbance won't come. Yeah, I'll continue from here.
Hmm.
So when you are undergoing these challenges, I think, it mentally and emotionally breaks you down at one point of time. And at that time, I realized one thing is that if I'm not able to handle this failure, I cannot handle failures of entrepreneurship. Because when it comes to leadership roles, you will have multiple challenges coming up. And of course, with my age and my experience, getting into a board position was very difficult because people underestimate.
Yeah.
People underestimate what all you can do compared to, what all you are capable of. And then when I started getting multiple roles, it then opened up, a lot of more opportunities. So I personally believe the start is difficult, but keep on learning. Every year I invest in my learnings. Every year I invest in myself. I think that is what works wonders for me. So even when you have challenges, do not give up. Keep on learning. Keep on investing. And eventually you will get there.
Mansi?
Yes. So, whenever you face any challenges, I think the two lessons that I've learned is don't give up. And second of all, try to find right people who can guide you and who will help you navigate those challenges and, help you reach your destination at the right time.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Mansi. I think failures or any impediment in our life is an opportunity to work upon and improve ourselves and go ahead in our lives. I mean, that's life all about uh, learning in each step, right? That's brilliant. Wow. But that's there, so many things are happening. You have challenges, you're facing challenges, you're working on yourself, everything's happening. But how has it really impacted your personal relationships?
Oh, very interesting question. I think I've become more kind.
Huh?
Because when I become more kind, I believe, because when you understand leadership, when you understand compassion, self leadership, and all those things, ultimately you're dealing with humans, right? And when you are in a leadership role, you have to first understand, human psychology. And I think that was the best learning for me, that how a man thinks, how a female thinks, and how do both the genders process emotions or how they perceive things.
Yeah.
And why is it that a woman it tends to overthink, or why you have to talk very point to point with a man, etc. And then I realized that, okay, when you understand psychology, you actually understand the other person better, and you become less judgmental because now you know where they're coming from. So
Absolutely.
you don't feel the need to explain them everything or probably justify yourself or just come into a very fight zone or, try to break somebody's ego or something like that. No. So I think that's the best thing happened, that if you understand psychology, your relationships will improve. And that has been a big game changer for me, I believe. Because otherwise we tend to deal with everybody in the same manner. It's like how you do one thing is the way you do everything, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
impacted my relationships, personally, professionally. I became more kind. I understood that, okay, sometimes when you are a good listener, things change and that strengthens the bond. So I think leadership and relationship is interconnected.
Yeah. Oh,
So
really? Okay.
and I think you're the best person to, give a comment on this because you are into a relationship, I am into leadership, and leaders have to build relations, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And without that, things cannot proceed. So it's interconnected, yes. So I think,
Absolutely. Huh.
yes.
Sorry. Yeah.
Please, please, I want to hear you.
So yeah, relationships are all about how you with yourself and with other people,
Yes.
and only when you can connect with people in a way they are perceiving the world, then I think things can be in harmony, and only then a leader can influence the other person if he's able to connect with the other person.
Absolutely. And I think without kindness, you cannot lead.
Yeah, you have got to be so humble. You have to understand the perspective of each person who's following you, and also take care of their uh, I think wishes,
Yes,
what
because I
they're
think
looking up
everybody
to.
has something to contribute, and let's not judge a person by the designation that, oh, this person cannot contribute. Never know, the best ideas come from random discussions, and I think if you're open to learn, things can be, you can get big breakthroughs from that.
I think a leader should, it is always learning from the people who follow them.
Yeah,
Why
because
he's there, I think.
and those healthy discussions, it will strengthen the bond. One thing that I've experienced is talking about relationships. If you are listening without judgment, if you give them an honor of just being there, okay, forgetting your designations for a moment and just trying to understand what they are trying to say, I think that builds trust subconsciously.
Yes,
It's
yes.
because you're not, cutting them, or, okay, there can be disagreements, disrespect is not accepted. So sometimes I've seen leaders, Are, you keep quiet, I've not asked you, you should not contribute, you only be in your limits. And then, when the P&L sheet comes, you want to then compare the performance. How is it possible? Because you're not giving the person a chance to explore, no, and the person will not feel valued. And sometimes beyond money, it's, the kind of contribution they want to make. So I've learned 6 human needs, and the first thing that we've learned in that is every person has a desire to contribute. So
Oh,
maybe it
but
can be in terms of knowledge, it can be in terms of ideas, it can be in terms of contributing their network, or their support, mental, emotional, whatever it is. So if
mhm.
the person is willing to contribute, maybe they are not that experienced as you are. But if you're not open to learn or open to even hear them out once, I think that's the worst thing that can happen. And it's like a red flag. For me,
Mhm.
it's very easy to identify, okay, these are the red flags in a leader that I don't think this team would thrive for the long, or probably there will be some problems ahead, because once or twice you cut a person and then you will become quiet. The best people become quiet because they are not given the opportunity to speak up when the time is right.
Mhm.
So, and
Yeah.
even Shastra, we've learned, Chanakya says that your Amatya has to be in action. Amatya is your team member. Okay. So, Amatya always have to speak what is beneficial to the king. But if the king is not listening, then it's his loss, his or her loss, whoever. We are not being gender biased over here.
Hmm.
But if you don't listen to your team members, it's not their loss, it's your loss.
True, absolutely. I mean, the leader is supposed to hold that space for everyone, where and by holding that space, he's not just listening, he's being kind, compassionate, also having that empathy to understand from where he's coming from, he or she. I mean,
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, the as you said earlier that we have so many women leaders, uh, which are not, sorry, I'll repeat that thing.
No problem.
Yeah. So I was saying something and then beach में वो ठीक है. So do you want me to move on to the next segment?
Yeah, yeah, please.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, and Mansi, in your earlier podcast, I've heard you so many times talking about, women leaders, and there are very less women leaders in us, in the corporate world.
Yes.
So what are the why are they less? And what do you think, uh, what insights can you give us where women can actually take that opportunity, grab that?
Absolutely. What you said is correct. There are less women leaders in the leadership role in the corporate world. There are two reasons. First of all, a woman has to be trained. If
Hmm.
I wanted to be on a board level, I have trained myself timely.
Yeah.
And if I am not trained or I'm not well prepared, I cannot sit and complain that, oh, I don't get opportunities. That
Hmm.
is one perspective. Second, a lot of women have this fear of failure. A lot of women underestimate themselves, and probably because of their personal situations or external situations, etc. But I personally believe every woman has that potential to lead, to multitask, and to turn tables.
Hmm.
The very first step is please get yourself trained. I also give keynotes on family managed business. I also give sessions to leaders. And in every training, every session, my first session or my first icebreaker is please get yourself trained. There is no shame in saying that, yes, I'm going to be a learner or I'm going to be a beginner or I don't know what this role demands. But if you are open to learn, the limit is endless. But if people come and say, oh, I have 10, 15 years of experience, I am working from last 2 decades, I know how the company works. This I know everything attitude will not help in the leadership roles because the strategies are different, the mindset is different, it demands a different version of you, and you cannot be what you were in your previous role. It's a very different privilege. It's an honor. More than that, it's a big responsibility. So if
Yeah.
you are not mentally, emotionally, stable, if you are not having control over your emotions, if you don't understand psychology, if you don't, if you're not updated timely, you will not, win in the long run. So there are
Hmm.
a lot of things, there are a lot of challenges, a lot of circumstances that you have to face, but it's a privilege. And in my personal experience, I would again say, even if you are in a board position or even if you are in a leadership role, don't stop learning. Till date, every quarterly, I have my budgets wherein I invest in myself, be it for courses, be it for mentors, be it for books. Is because if you just stop learning, you will again come in a fixed mindset. And in the leadership role, fixed mindsets do not work.
Absolutely. Yeah. Agree with.
So, absolutely, there is a demand for women leaders. There is scarcity.
Mhm.
Companies are paying penalty for not having a woman director on board. And more than that, a lot of people want to start their own startup, but there's a fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear of not getting funded, etc. But
Yeah.
if you don't take a step now, you will always be, you will be stuck with regret, and that won't help you. So, taking a risk is better than having a regret.
That's true. That's true. But I also feel that in our society, women are mentally conditioned to always doubt themselves. uh,
Society will impose multiple things on you, but if you don't do it, you won't be able to stand out. Like today, even I had faced a lot of things like, who listens to a young motivational speaker
yeah,
and corporates mein ye sab nahi chalta hai and all what nonsense. But then as and when people saw me growing, or probably I'll give you an example of again yesterday. So I was at a women director summit and I had clicked some photos with some dignitaries and I just posted a story that I'm here with this person because I have a habit of doing handshake in networking. I click pictures, I record those moments, I document my journey. And
yeah.
I saw people, replying to my status again that, oh wow, you're meeting big people. Oh, it's a good growth, this, that. And I'm like, is that what you perceive out of this? Can't you see that, okay, on a weekday, she's going and learning what the concept was compared to, okay, meeting new people was a byproduct. Networking to hoga when you will go and learn, right? So again, that is the thing. And people who never ever, even wish you a happy birthday will come and reply to your status when they see you winning or probably with some celebrities or with some content creators and etc. And that is how I realized that, if you don't show, things, it will not help. जो दिखता है वो बिकता है.
Yeah.
So society wants you to behave in a certain way, but It's how you are neutral. And I still politely reply to everybody. I don't have that okay, you only come when you have some work with me. No, I reply to everybody. Because for me, I know that even if I try to explain them something, it's not going to help, nor me, nor them. Right? So
Yeah.
might as well I accept the fact that, okay, if you are growing, they will support you. If you are not growing, they're going to criticize you.
See,
So I
we can't help other people.
criticize.
Sorry.
No, no, please, please, sorry. Yeah.
I think a lot of everyone have their own perception about things, and when they see your photograph on social media, they'll be thinking so many things. Not learning is the least they could think of, and they can only think of networking and that she's going to the fancy places, getting clicked, and all that. For women, it's really always tough to get ahead in life. As I was saying earlier, that they would want to go get trained. They would want to do everything, but still, that self-doubt always brings them down.
Self-doubt will be there. Initially, even I had a lot of self-doubts. Sometimes I still do, and that's okay. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a part of your life, but not taking action for that is
yeah,
not right. So
absolutely.
it's
Yeah,
fine to have self-doubt, but it's not fine to remain where you are.
yeah. That's the dark place with us, that we are in a self-doubt. It happened with me also, and I used to self-doubt myself so much, and that was the biggest impediment I ever had. And when I realized it, I was like, wow, I can do so much. I'm not
And see, you arrived so
put
much. I mean,
myself
you
in a
done
cage.
so much.
Yeah. So
Because
women,
your journey is not easy, to be a mother, handle family responsibilities and then do the work. I think your story is really inspiring.
yeah, right now also I'm taking care of that, man.
I understand.
Simultaneously, recording this podcast and making sure that my kid is happy and fine without me. So that's a big challenge when you have a toddler around you.
And I think this is the kind of women we want more because this shows, you have mental resilience. This shows that nothing can stop you from achieving what you want. And in spite of challenges, in spite of responsibilities, you're not running away. I have never seen you give any excuses or probably, and today on a weekend also, if you are recording this, this actually shows that, this is the passion and the love that you have for your work. And it's rare. It's rare.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mansi. You're really very kind to say those words. That
I say this from my heart. I'm not a person who would please people. If I feel something, I'll be upfront to it.
wow, wow. Thank you so much. A lot of gratitude. Thanks. But I'm really inspired by you, actually. I read your website, read things in your website, learned about you. I realized, wow, she's done such amazing thing with herself. Gone from a speaker to a trainer, training so many people at such a young age. So I was just intrigued with the fact that आपने ऐसा क्या पाया कि what did you really learn through the texts that you read? Niti, Ramayan, Bhagwat
I would
Gita.
first, acknowledge my parents and my grandmother because even if I was able to learn all this, my grandmother has pushed me a lot. She's 76-year-old and more than me, she's a lifelong learner. Be it my training programs, be it my college events, be it my public speaking, corporate training, even my leadership course. She just told me one thing that Mansi, in our days, we could not learn. And I want you to become what you are meant to be. And I want you to be at a leadership role where I enter your office and people should say, ki, Madam ki mai. And
Uh,
I'm okay, this is a big, big dream that I want to accomplish for her. And irrespective of no matter how many lakhs of courses they are, but they've never stopped me, and my granny's always pushed me to go to places and learn because nothing comes for free and nothing comes home. So she made me travel alone. She made and she ensured that I travel with, of course, home cooked food so that I don't fall sick and I don't miss my family much when I'm traveling. So all those things, and she's made me brave. And even when I was learning this course, I remember I was supposed to attend a session in the weekdays
hmm.
and the weekends sometimes. So in the weekends I could not take training for 2 years because it was a weekend course. And she made me realize again that, Mansi, this sacrifice for 2 years will solve your 20 years. So I think when you have right family members support, it works wonders. Now, coming back to your question, Arthashastra actually changed my life because currently I'm on board of Windplus Private Limited, and the managing director was my classmate in
Yeah.
the session. So we were project partners, and my granny again expressed her interest to him that, I really want that Mansi should have a big office, and I want to see Mansi explore different industries and all that. And he considers my family as his family. So when he came on his birthday, so instead of we giving him a gift, my granny asked him that, this is what I want from you today on your birthday, that I want my granddaughter to be on a leadership role, and you guide her. And I don't know what clicked him, and he said, I will fulfill your this wish. And I thought he might offer me some partnership. After 2 months, my granny's coming in asking me, hey, he called and he said that you're on board. I'm like, what? This is not possible. This is a big thing. I mean, of course I knew he would give me partnership, but being a board director was something out of question. And then
Wow.
he said, no, 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 he spoke to me and he said this. And, now you get prepared and you find courses कि board of directors होते कैसे हैं, क्या duties होता है, what you have to do, compliance wise, everything. And I'm like, oh my God, again, a new learning for me. So I think these opportunities, when they come in, you have to learn. And Arthashastra actually, helped me build big empires, because that's what you learn. Chanakya Arthashastra is for building empire. Chanakya Niti is for a common man, how a common man can become successful.
Okay.
So while learning Arthashastra, I was learning how do you build empires, how do you run family managed businesses, and etc. And I never know I was attracting these opportunities. Again, then I got a chance to be on board of studies of KES of College Mumbai. For the next 3 years, I'm appointed as their board of studies. So that was another opportunity for me, because I wanted to always impact in the education system as well. Then podcast came up. Radhakrishna sir said that, okay, you're my official student, so why don't you host the podcast? And I'm like, yeah, that's great, because I think, I will learn a lot from you, and more than that, I love being on camera. So that was another thing. So Arthashastra has not only taught me these strategies, but it has helped me become a better strategist.
Mhm.
Because when you're on board, you have to give strategies. When you are hosting a podcast, you have to form strategies. When you are on board of an education university, you have to, give right advice and right syllabus and all those things, right? So you bring a different perspective altogether. So I would not say that it is only helping me personally, but it has benefited me more professionally.
Mhm. Right. Okay. And I must say that, your granny is such a visionary.
Oh, yes.
She's just brilliant. Like, I wish I could have someone like that in my life to guide me. Okay, and someone having your back in your family is the biggest support you could get.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember when I was failing, and, the societal pressures of telling my parents that, अरे, क्या ये सब courses करते रहते, आगे जाके रोटी तो बनाना है, this, that. Granny used to shout at my parents that, don't listen to this nonsense. She has to grow more. She has to learn more. शादी वादी बाद में देख लेंगे ये वो. And I'm like, can I not believe that she's not from our, she's a Gen Z granny, I would say.
Yeah, I would definitely say
Actually
that.
bringing the perspective we would want, right? I mean, I have not seen grandmothers being so modern, or probably being so
I would.
forward thinker, I would say. And yeah, absolutely. So today, whatever I am, I can never forget the support. And can you believe this is because you are into relationship, I would want to address this as well. So when I underwent a very bad breakup, she was the one to support me. And I mean, that's the relation I have with her, that I can tell her this. And she just gave me one support, and she just said that, okay, it's his loss. More than that, Mansi, we will not, defame him. We will not talk bad about him. You will never go and ask him for a closure. You will never go and force him to be with you. You have to accept this and you have to move on. But now you ensure that you will not, do like this to somebody else, because you've undergone a heartbreak yourself. So I think that's the kind of wisdom she brings in my life,
Hmm.
that because sometimes we become beyond what we are not, right? Sometimes because somebody's hurt us, we also tend to hurt people. So even during those painful days, she's trying to make me better. That,
Hmm.
Mansi, this is what happened with you. You don't do this with somebody else, because now you know what the pain is. So I think that's the kind of I mean, she's my everything. I can't imagine my life with her. And, now she wants to start a YouTube channel for cooking. She's like, I want to live my knowledge. I want to leave a legacy. I will do all that. And I'm like, yeah, I'll support you, because if I've come into a content creation thing, it's because of her again. And, she will proudly put my videos on her WhatsApp status, and she'll come to my podcast shoots, of course, offline podcast shoots and all that. And yeah, I think it's great. I can't imagine my life, my family, my entire thing without her. Today,
Wow,
and
that's
this is
beautiful.
one thing I want to give a message also, that it's wrong that two women can't work together.
Hmm.
Women can work together, and you need such women. And if you come to Ramayan and Mahabharata also, Arjun had Sri Krishna, Lord, this Hanumanji had Jamvanji, right? So there's somebody or the other who's there to guide you as an elder. And I think Ma Durga has come in form of my granny. I would personally say that, yeah.
Wow.
I'm
You
getting goosebumps
know,
when I'm saying this as well, but yeah.
I can feel a lot of love. Uh, this bond is just beautiful, I would say. Beautiful.
Thank you. And I would love to make you meet her once in person,
I would love to meet her. Yes, I
Yeah,
would
sure, sure.
love.
For sure.
I've not had the uh, I've, I've never had this thing. My grandparents passed away quite early in my life. So I've never
Oh,
had that opportunity to, gel with grandparents and have a good relationship. I've always wanted to have one. So
now
I've,
you have one. Now you
yeah,
have one.
I
See,
would love to meet her. Definitely, definitely. She seems
anytime,
to be
anytime.
some lady who was born in the wrong generation, I think.
Yeah, actually, and I think it sometimes, I also wonder that, what makes her so bold, where, if I am trying to, like, just say that, no, Ghani, it's too far, I don't think I should travel. Like, no, nothing will happen. Go, you have to take risks, you have to take a bold step. And I think that is where the strength, the kind of bravery comes in, because it's all instilled by her.
You know,
And at every challenge of my life, she's given me one lesson or one piece of wisdom, where I think I can even write a book on it in future, that okay, even in your pain you get beautiful lessons if you have the right mentors with you.
yeah, absolutely. I'm so inspired by your granny that I would love to be like her when I grow old. Always inspiring other people, especially your granddaughter, because she knew always that, the society will make sure that, she's put down upon and not able to fly. So I really admire her. Admire
And
her.
because we're talking about her, I'll share one last incident regarding her, and it's a little funny also. But yeah, I think because it was you forgot society, so I would tell you this. So when the cousins or relatives call, they always ask, Mansi, kaun se company mein job karti hai? So then she will just take 1 second pause, because that's what even we learn in leadership. No, pause for a second and then answer. So then she'll say, जॉब करती है अच्छा ओके कोई बात नहीं एक्चुअली वो जॉब नहीं करती है वो ना जॉब देती है अगर आपके बच्चे को जॉब चाहिए तो आप बोल दो मैं मानसी को बोल दूंगी वो आपको हायर कर देगी एंड आई एम लाइक because she gets offended very fast if people ask like this and they were like how can she say ये job करते हैं I'm like Dani there is nothing wrong in that no you're a director they should understand this के हलवा थोड़ी है ऐसे director बनने के लिए ये वो and I'm like okay so she will try to defend me in a very funny manner and in a very humble manner she'll try and even the सामने वाला is thinking कि क्या बोल दिया इन्होंने like ये ऐसे क्यों पूछ रहे हैं कि हमारे बच्चे को जॉब चाहिए and then they realize that oh we were so quick to be judgmental no that oh she must be doing some job or she must be working in some organization this that so that is how it is so yes I think she was born in the wrong generation.
That's right. That's kind and witty at the same time. That's what like millennials do. Wow. With so much of awareness, so much of wisdom, Mansi, and your granny's reflection. You've taken upon her reflections on in your life, guided yourself. You're so aware of these things. What is that one thing that you would love to, um, or love to tell every woman out there? Any one thing that you would like to tell them?
I don't know how how this might sound, but please stop gossiping and start growing. That's the only message I have. Because I have seen women, they watch repeated telecast of those episodes. They will gossip, they will start envying, they'll start talking nonsense, and they don't have time for learning, but they have time to discuss other people's lives. I think please stop that. Stop gossiping. And the moment you start growing is the moment you will start living your life. So if this one change also comes in, I think they will outgrow a lot of things.
That's so true. I think more importantly, they get time to talk about and gossip with people is because they don't want to work. If they're working, if they're applying their mind to some constructive thing, I don't think they would have such time to gossip and manipulate people.
And it's amazing that, they remember every detail. I mean, of course, being a woman, we are wired to remember everything. And if you ask them some learning, they don't remember that. But then the gossip is endless and they influence other women to gossip more. And even in my women's session that I conduct, I tell them, specifically on Women's Day and anywhere where I get any invites, please stop gossiping, please start growing, because you can actually become a woman that people can look up to, a woman that inspires other women. And I have seen a lot of these motivational quotes coming on Instagram, that you actually straighten the crown of a woman whose crown has been shifted without telling other women that her crown is crooked or her crown has fallen. That means, like, even if you want to support somebody, don't do a publicity ki, oh, I supported this woman, or because of me she has become this. No, you supported, you did it for your own thing, not for the people to praise you. Right. And if that support is coming because you want a public validation, I think that's the worst support. Then that was not support, it was a selfish support.
Yeah, self-interest. People are mostly just working
Self-interest.
for
Yes.
self-interest. Yeah.
Yes. So I think that's one wonderful. And a lot of times Instagram gives, these jhatka types, not memes, I would say, these learnings, and that's so correct.
That
Then
is,
why do you tell people that, okay, I supported her? Just do what you had to do.
yeah. Yeah, but I feel as human beings, we're all working towards our self-interest. And in that, we forget how it is perceived and how it affects other people.
Absolutely. And yeah, so my final message would be, please no gossips.
No gossips. Thank you so much, Mansi. It was lovely having you over the show, and my privilege to host you.
Yeah,
I hope I did some
I'm
justice
very realizing, and I always say this,
to the
yes,
session.
that you gave me your precious time, and you considered me, कि मैं इस लायक हूँ कि मैं कुछ आके share कर पाऊँ. I think that is my big thing. And I hope to come and add more value. And actually, once, I would want to share the Arthashastra learnings. I'll try to decode the sutras for your audience in future. I would want to give them some learning which even I have learned. These were my personal experiences, what I shared today.
Yeah.
But even the book learnings or the university learnings, I would anytime, and I'm saying this on record, I am always here to support you. So any point of time, just one date and one call away. That's it.
Thank you, Mansi. Yes, we will have some another episode of
Anytime.
Arthashastra,
Anytime.
detailed podcast for everyone who want to be leaders, because I think the information out there is very less. They don't know what to do. Maybe right guidance from you and mentorship would really help people.
I would not say mentorship. Mentoring is a big word. I'm still not at that level to give mentoring. But yeah, any kind
Why?
of guidance, I think anytime.
You're getting there, at such young age, you've accomplished so much and so much wisdom. See,
I think
that's the
my
human thing,
wisdom is
doubting
close
ourselves
to my
that,
head.
I'm not there. But yes, we are looking up to you for leadership, for mentoring. You can train and influence and impact millions of women out there.
I hope that I hope I have that vision for 1 million youth and women, because I think everybody has potential, but they just don't have right guidance. And this is where I want my content or my learnings or my future book to create that impact.
Wow, wow. All the best for the future books. All the best. Thank you, Mansi.
Thank you. Well, I
Yeah.
have one picture, please. I want to put it on my story today. I'm going to spam my stories with your
Yeah,
screenshots.
yeah, yeah. Acha, are you taking a picture or
One
should I
second.
take one?
Yeah, yeah. You can take it. You can also take it from your mobile, no problem. You send it to me.
Because no, आप लो because I मेरा बहुत reflection
And
आता है.
screen, let me know if you're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take it.
Second. Just save it quickly.
Yeah.
And send it to you.
Thanks.
See. Yeah. Done.
Hello and welcome to the next episode of Let's Talk Sense. Hello, welcome to the next episode of Let's Talk Sense. And today we have this wonderful woman leader who has come Hi, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Sense. Wow. Hi, I'm Madhulika Sharma, relationship and a consciousness coach. And today, and this podcast, okay, and I've started this podcast to get to know more about. Okay, cut that again. Mhm. And this podcast is all about, getting to know new perspectives about life, love, relationships, growth, mindsets, etc. A lot to learn, Life is all about learning. And today, our very special guest, who is a woman leader, a motivational speaker, a trainer, a leadership coach. She's a person, she's very kind and a compassionate person, always smiling and with so much of wisdom at such a young age. She is such a brilliant person to talk to. So let's welcome Mansi Thakkar.